Hey there. We all know the difference between a good night's sleep and a bad one, right? But what if it's way more complicated than just good or bad? We're going to dive into some amazing new research that says we all might fit into one of 5 very distinct sleep profiles. Let's figure out which one is yours.
You ever try to explain your sleep problems to someone and it just doesn't fit into that neat little insomnia box? Maybe you fall asleep just fine, but you're still exhausted all day, or you barely sleep but feel totally okay. Well, it turns out your gut feeling might be spot on.
So, where is all this coming from? Well, it's all based on this really incredible new study that decided to look way beyond your basic sleep tracker to figure out what's really going on in our brains and bodies when we turn out the lights.
See, the researchers, they didn't just hand out a survey and call it a day. No way. They combined what people said about their sleep, their lifestyle, and their mental health with actual MRI brain scans. This whole approach gave them this incredibly detailed picture of the link between our brains, our habits, and our sleep.
And this really gets to the heart of it. As one of the authors, Dr. Valeria Kazbets, put it, sleep is multidimensional. It's not this simple one-size-fits-all thing at all. The study shows that very specific parts of our sleep are tied to our mental health and even how well we think in very unique ways. All right, and that brings us to the main event, right? The big reveal. After crunching all that data, the surveys, the health info, the brain scans, they found 5 totally distinct profiles of sleepers. So the question is, do you see yourself in one of these?
Yep, 5. Let's break them down one by one and see if any of this sounds familiar. Okay, first on the list, a profile a lot of us might know all too well, the poor sleeper. Does that ring a bell for you? Or maybe for someone you know?
So this group, they're just generally not happy with their sleep. It takes them forever to finally drift off, they wake up a bunch, and they really feel it the next day. And maybe no surprise here, this profile is super strongly linked to things like depression, anxiety, and just high levels of stress and anger.
All right, moving on to profile number 2. And this one's kind of weird, a bit of a puzzle. Say hello to the resilient sleeper.
Yeah, this is what's so wild about this group. They'll tell you they feel awful during the day, really impaired, but they don't actually complain about their sleep at night. It's like there's a total disconnect. And the research found a link here to attention issues, like ADHD, and even personality traits, like low conscientiousness. Okay, profile number 3 is a little different. It's not so much about how you sleep, but what you do to get to sleep. This is the medication user.
And this is where things get really interesting. On the one hand, this group didn't do so great on certain tasks, like visual memory or even recognizing emotions. But then, on the other hand, they said they were happier with their social lives. So you've got this strange mix, right? Some cognitive negatives, but some social positives. Now for number 4. This one is all about the clock, or more like the lack of time on it. This is the short sleeper.
Yet these are the people who are just consistently not hitting that recommended 7 hours a night. And you know what? The data shows it really takes a toll. They were less accurate on thinking tasks. Their reaction times were slower. And in terms of behavior, well, they were linked with more aggression and being less agreeable. And that brings us to our final profile, number 5. This one is all about interruptions. We're talking about the disturbed sleeper. For them, it's not about getting to sleep, it's about staying asleep. You know who I'm talking about, right? The people who wake up again and again, maybe to use the bathroom or because of pain, or they're just too hot or too cold. It's not just annoying. The study linked this constant disruption to some pretty serious stuff, like anxiety, a higher risk for substance abuse, and even aggressive behavior. Okay, so let's just take a breath and pull all that together for a second. Looking at this chart, you can really see the 5 profiles side by side, each with its own signature trait and its own main health connection. It just goes to show how specific and different our sleep issues can really be. So we have these 5 groups. It's pretty clear. But why? What's actually happening deep down that makes them so different? Well, it turns out the answer is inside our heads. And this, right here, is the absolute key takeaway. Those MRI scans, they showed that each sleep profile has its own unique neural signature, a different pattern of how brain networks connect and talk to each other. So, in other words, your sleep type isn't just some random habit. It's literally a reflection of how your brain is wired.
Okay, so knowing which profile you might be is one thing, but what do you do with that information? That's the real question, right? So let's get practical. Let's talk about a toolkit you can use to start sleeping better, no matter which group you fall into.
First up, let's talk about your evening routine. Now, look, this stuff is good for everyone, but it's especially important for some of you. If you're a poor sleeper, having a solid wind-down routine, like reading or a hot bath, can be a game changer for the anxiety that's keeping you up. If you're a disturbed sleeper, skipping that late-night meal or drink is absolutely critical to stop those middle-of-the-night wake-ups. And for literally everyone, keeping a regular schedule is king.
And hey, don't forget about your bedroom itself. Your environment matters a lot. For all the disturbed sleepers out there who are super sensitive to temperature, keeping the room cool could be the fix you've been looking for. And for the short sleepers who are maybe trying to do too much, making your bedroom a phone-free zone for that last hour, that can be the signal your brain needs to finally power down. So, as we finish up here, I want you to really think about it. Thinking about these profiles, which one sounds most like you? And based on that, what's just one small thing, one tiny change you can make tonight to sleep a little better? Because what this research really shows us is that the path to better sleep isn't about just trying harder. It's about understanding ourselves a whole lot better.